I am no longer a correctional officer, but worked for roughly 5 years. Thank God that's over. I was advised to move an inmate from strip to a different cell. Strip is an area that inmates that would harm themselves are placed, and are only given a smock suit, also referred to as a turtle suit. The inmate was acting irrationally by growling at me and shaking the bars. I called classification block and told them, due to safety, I would not move the inmate by myself. I also advised my supervisor of the same. Usually, they'd get a group of 4 guys to do it as safely as possible. This LT shows up and thinks he's hot shit and says he'll move him himself. I'm like, whatever, go ahead. But I already know it was going to go downhill. The LT opens the cell doors and the inmate pushes him and runs past him butt naked. I start chasing the inmate down the hallway corridor. He was sprinting naked right towards a dead end. The inmate finally gets cornered and starts growling and roaring like a lion. Being cornered now, with nowhere to go, so he charges towards me. I used his full momentum and dump him right onto the floor. The inmate is still fighting and trying to bite and hit me. The LT is just standing there like a moron. Finally, my friends show up to help. The inmate fought for a good 30 seconds until he was injected by something by the emergency services crew. He fought so hard he ended up breaking his trachea, ribs, and an ankle. He flailed violently, just thrashing everywhere. Turns out he had received a drug that was laced with some bad shit. I talked to the inmate a week or so later, once the drug was out of his system, and he was like a different person, and ended up apologizing. Best thing was, this LT looked like a giant idiot, and a worse, because it was all on camera. He stood by as his officer was trying to restrain a violent individual. That's something you'll never live down in your career, and it's remembered forever. There are so many other stories. Doing CPR on an inmate that had visibly broken his neck from a hanging suicide, because you have to until EMS shows up. Then having their ribs break and going down to their pelvis is something I'll never forget. Having an officer stabbed right in front of you with a shank is also a fun memory. Trying to process it all after and still doing your job, knowing that one day someone may go after you. Overdoses, brawls, stabbings, completed and attempted suicide. If you're a correctional officer for long enough, you will see it all.
Hi, my name is Jordan Gibbs, and my channel is going to be about scary, spooky ghost stories. And I would like 2 million subscribers.